All right, we want to bring you now a press conference there in Fox Lake, updating us on the manhunt for 3 suspected cop killers. Let's listen in.
Sheriff Mark Curran, Lake County Sheriff's Office, and Under Sheriff Ray Rose. So this morning at approximately 7:52, preliminary investigation indicates Fox Lake Police Lieutenant Joseph Glenowitz had encountered 3 suspicious subjects. He advised his radio communication that he was out with 3 suspicious subjects, 2 male whites and 1 male black. Shortly thereafter, Lieutenant Glenowitz informed communications he was in a foot pursuit. His communications then lost contact with him. When our first responding backup units arrived at the scene, they located Lieutenant Glenowitz injured with a gunshot wound. A massive search is now underway, and this is a 3-pronged investigation. We have the aggressive search to apprehend the offenders that are at large, and again, they're being described as 2 male whites and 1 male black. We have the evidence processing at the scene, and we have the investigation into exactly what occurred here today. We are using many resources. We're using numerous air units to search from above and look below. We're using numerous canine units that are trying to sniff out and grab a hold of a scent to the offenders. And we have numerous police officers across northern Illinois as well, and we're joined by state agencies and federal agencies as well. We're asking residents in the Fox Lake area to please be on the alert if they see anything suspicious, to dial 911 immediately. Anything out of the ordinary, anything they're not used to seeing in their subdivisions. No tip is too small, and we're asking for the community's help on locating anything suspicious. At this time, I'm going to turn the microphone over to Mayor Schmidt of the Village of Fox Lake.
Tonight, not only did Fox Lake lose a family member, I lost a very dear friend. Lieutenant Joe Glenowitz was a 30-year veteran, a decorated police officer, a family man, and a dear friend to the entire village of Fox Lake. The response today by law enforcement from local, state, and federal agencies has been remarkable. We would like to thank each agency and each officer who is out there right now assisting our efforts. Understandably, our officers are having a very difficult day today. We lost a family member. They're dealing with the loss of their colleague, partner, while also identifying efforts to find the person responsible for this senseless tragedy. Our community is having a very difficult time. In the coming days will be even more difficult as we remember him as a police officer, a father, and a member of our community. G.I. Joe was the father of 4 boys, a decorated police officer and an asset to our community. Many residents in here knew him as G.I. Joe, and we remember him as someone deeply committed to Fox Lake, to the profession, and his fellow officers. Going forward, our focus is in 3 areas. The first is to mourn the death of Lieutenant Joe Glenowitz. His commitment to the people of this community has been unmatched and will be dearly missed. The second is to ensure the people of Fox Lake are safe as this investigation continues. We've been coordinating efforts with the schools, increasing our police presence at all our facilities, and making sure parents are notified about the status of their schools. The minute we learned about this incident, we immediately put our schools on soft lockdown and advised parents that they should pick up their children from school. We made a decision to dismiss students at 4 o'clock instead of 3, and are asking parents to pick up their children from the school. Finally, we continue to support the hardworking men and women out there today in this heat, doing everything that they can to find the individuals responsible for this very tragic incident. Thank you.
Detective. Can you come back to the podium, please?
All right, you've just been listening there to Mayor Donnie Schmidt in Fox Lake, his voice hoarse with emotion, talking about the police officer who was killed earlier this morning, Charles Joseph Glinowitz, a family man, a 30-year veteran of the police force, a father of 4 boys. He called him a decorated asset. Many knew him in the community. He was known to many as G.I. Joe, committed to Fox Lake. The mayor going on to say that there are 3 things that they are going to be working on. First, to mourn the death of Officer Glinowitz. The mayor saying his commitment to the community has been, quote, unmatched. The second thing that community is doing is ensuring that the people of Fox Lake and the surrounding area will be safe. And the third thing is to support the men and women who are engaged in this massive manhunt to try and locate these 3 suspects who allegedly gunned down this police officer sometime after 7:52 this morning local time. During the course of the press conference, Chris Covelli, who's a detective there with Lake County, said that there are 3 prongs to their approach as to what they are doing now as far as the investigation is concerned. Number 1, they are continuing with an aggressive search. And there you see images from earlier this afternoon of police conducting door-to-door searches, aerial shots there taken of canine units, of officers on the ground, including not just local officials, local law enforcement, but also state and federal law enforcement searches that are happening there. The second thing, there's an evidence process. They are collecting evidence at the scene of the crime and where Officer Glinowitz was found. And the third prong to this approach is the investigation as to exactly what happened. We know that Officer Glinowitz first radioed back to fellow police officers that he was observing 3 suspicious individuals. He decided then to pursue them as police officers do whenever they suspect somebody may be up to no good. He pursued these 3 individuals, and short time later, the responding officers found Officer Charles Joseph Glinowitz dead. Official reports say that there was perhaps pepper spray that was deployed before the officer was shot. When he was recovered, his weapon and some other of his belt and other things were taken from his body. The police officials immediately put the area in lockdown, asked members of the public to be aware as to anything suspicious, saying that no tip is too small. Schools were in lockdown, and that is where we stand right now. Again, the officer killed, Lieutenant Charles Joseph Glinowitz. Sorry, control room, repeat. All right, we are following some other stories for you now, including the story out of Kentucky where a county clerk refused to grant a marriage license to a gay couple. We're going to bring you details on that, and also more details as we learn in on this massive manhunt underway just outside of Chicago, Illinois. This is CBSN. We're always on.